Alright, let's talk about The Martian, written by Andy Weir, directed by Ridley Scott, and starring Matt Damon, and a whole slew of Hollywood's finest. The plot of this movie involves NASA's manned mission to explore Mars. While astronauts are carrying out their research, a giant dust storm blows through, causing an emergency evacuation. Unfortunately, one of the crew members, Mark Watney, played by Matt Damon, gets left behind, leaving him stranded on Mars. Before we get started, this is your official spoiler alert. If you have not seen the movie and don't want to know all the details about the ending, go see the movie first and then come watch this review. For the rest of you, let us continue. First of all, major props for cramming so much science into one movie. This movie has lots of cool and accurately designed spacecrafts and spacesuits. Even the ones they wear on the surface of Mars that look cool and form-fitting, those aren't that far off from the real designs being worked on by the top minds in the science field right now. Looking good, folks. They do a great job of constantly letting us know that days, weeks, and months happen differently on Mars by using sol days instead of our traditional Earth times here. And even though they sometimes bypass it for the sake of storytelling, they do address the communication delays real-world missions face because of the vast distance between Earth and Mars. Well done. Now, since communications are limited, the use of a hexadecimal language does work, and they showed that aspect very well too. Pretty clever. Damon's character is a botanist, so during his unexpected stay on Mars, he uses the resources available to grow a sizable amount of potatoes. He also clearly knows his chemistry and physics pretty well because he converts some spare hydrazine rocket fuel into water and converts his habitation module into a Martian greenhouse. Good use of soil, water, potatoes, and let's just call it fertilizer to make the most of being stranded on the red planet. How do you like them potatoes? Even the math behind the big, daring escape at the end of the movie makes sense. The gravity assist from Earth works out, the various altitude and speed issues for the big rescue scene make sense, and even the physics behind the air pressure released from the suit at the end of the movie more or less checks out. Maybe not at that degree, but the basic physics concepts totally make sense here. Back here on Earth, they also show all the various NASA offices working together to solve this problem. Which is great, since for major work like this, it does take a bevy of experts working together. Very nicely portrayed. Now, while they got a lot of stuff in this movie right, there are a few details that could be contested. For example, Damon's crop yield in this movie is pretty spectacular. For anyone that's tried their hand at agriculture at any capacity, you know that not literally every crop will be perfect. In this case, however, there's something magical going on in this Martian greenhouse because the whole place is filled with healthy-looking crops. Good for him, though. He needs to eat. Another issue is that the old Pathfinder space probe had to be dug out in this movie. We have images of older space probes that are still exposed on the surface of Mars, so how come Pathfinder gets covered up? Those dust storms would move dust in and out, and a few decades is not enough to bury a machine totally under Martian dust. Houston, we have a problem here. They do make a point of letting us know that communications take a while, but a lot of the messages they send are very short. If you have a stranded astronaut that has to wait 20 minutes to receive a single transmission, you probably want to send more than one sentence at a time. It almost felt like they were casually texting each other. Also, this movie takes place in 2035, so how come Matt Damon didn't just hit up the Dutch Mars One program? Oh wait, maybe, for some reason, that just didn't exist in the book or the movie. Let's just move on. Lastly, the biggest problem would be with the dust storm at the beginning of the movie. The atmosphere on Mars is a lot thinner than here on Earth. So while the speed of the storm may be accurate, it just wouldn't have the impact that the movie made it out to have. It certainly would not tip over giant launch machines and such. But then again, without this major issue, there would really be no plot to get excited about. So we'll have to just let these pass the suspension of disbelief committee, and we're good. All in all, this movie is great because it really promotes critical thinking and a deep-rooted working knowledge of scientific principles. This film makes it a great point to make science the true star of the movie. And Matt Damon, too. His handsome face is even visible when he's wearing the space helmet, which is probably not great to light from the inside, but we don't need to get into that right now. The Martian is an instant space classic and well worth the watch if you haven't seen it already. This movie is awesome and a great treat for science and space fans alike. To sum it up, go see The Martian. It's amazing.